I'm a great believer in preparing and getting everything organised when you're fishing, and I think there's three types of preparation. One's preparation at home, one is on the bank, and one is in the swim. And I believe in all three, and all are a little bit separate. Anything I can prepare for my day's fishing at home, I always do, so I'm not having to do it on the bank. Mixing ground bait is one of those things. If I'm fishing a method feed and I want more of a sticky mix, I always mix it the night before, where more water absorbs into the ground bait and makes it a bit more sticky. If I want a more active ground bait, then I always prepare it on the morning. But the most important thing is having the right type of ground bait. You've got to have the ground bait that the fish respond to and come and eat. On commercial fisheries nowadays, there's two types you want: a fish meal based or a pellet based ground bait. If you use any commercial cereal type baits, they don't seem to work as much as them two ground baits. So getting the right ground bait and the right texture is very important. So that's one of the reasons why I always prepare at home. The two ground baits I'm using at the moment and having a tremendous amount of success are them two: the S-pellet ground bait and the mixed one ground bait by Sono Baits. These mixed together are absolutely perfect. The S-pellet ground bait is a very light texture, and I will use it on its own if I need a very, very active mix where it's going to really bubble and boil in the peg. To mix it, it's quite simple. Put a bag in, but I always add some mixed one as well, some marine pellet, and just tip that. A straight one bag for one bag. I don't add the water at this time, because what I do then, if I want it to be a bit more sticky, especially for method feeder fishing, I always add an egg, just makes it a little bit more sticky. So all I do, crack the egg and put it in. Simple as that, basically. Then I add the water. Now this is the key. All you're going to do is add the water gently, a little bit at a time, and mix it. The modern day angler has got a drill. They've got a drill that they can put in with a whisk on the end and makes it easy. If you haven't got a drill, then it's the old-fashioned way of using the hands, and all you do is put the water in, mix it like so until it's not saturated but it's wet. And if you don't think it's quite wet, just add a little bit more, but don't put a lot in, because if you put a lot in and make it too sloppy, you'll destroy what you're trying to do. So just mix it up, mix it thoroughly all the way through. And then when you think it's just when it's binding together nicely like that, and you can feel the wetness in it without it being saturated, leave it. And all I do then, half an hour later, before I go to bed or something like that, I'll come back. It absorbs a lot of water. You'll notice that it will have dried out, and you get a bit more water and add it, and then just leave it like that overnight. Get up next morning, and all you do then is just check that it's okay, and usually you'll find out you'll only need a little bit of water. Add a bit more water until you can make a nice ball out of it, and you can feel the dampness in it. If you can feel the dampness in it but not saturated, that's the correct texture, because you know then it'll stick onto your method feeder. Mixing ground bait is as simple as that. Then when you get to the peg, what I always do is just check that it's right. If you've got a drill, just drill it up, make it nice and fluffy, make it so it's all nice and sticky and it's all mixed in and everything. If you haven't got a drill, you need a riddle. So all you do, you get just an open bowl like that with a riddle, and just keep putting some ground bait on and push it through a maggot riddle. And then what you find out then, as you push it through like so, just make sure it all goes through, it gets all the lumps out, it gets all the damp patches all mixed in together, so it's all nice and air. And as you can see from that, it's nice, it's aired, and it's perfect, and it's really, really sticky. Even straight away with that egg, it just makes it a bit more sticky for when you're going to put it in. On a method feeder, you don't need it too dry, you need it reasonably sticky, so it's quite important. On an open feeder, you can probably get away with it being a bit dry, but if I'm on an open feeder, what I tend to do is mix it on the morning of the match, because I need it a little bit more active. And that's how you mix ground bait, it's as simple as that.